April 1st, 2006, Columbus, Ohio. The Ugly Tuna Saloon, a lively college bar filled with music, laughter, and the hum of conversations spilling out onto the street. It's just past 1:55 a.m., and the crowd is starting to thin. Security cameras outside the bar scan the entrance, catching students and locals stepping in and out, their movements bathed in the artificial glow of streetlights. Among them is a young man with tousled brown hair, wearing jeans and a striped olive-green polo. His name is Brian Shaffer, a 27-year-old medical student at Ohio State University. He steps toward the bar's entrance, disappears inside, and is never seen again. The mystery begins here with an impossible question. How does a man vanish from a place with only one way in and out? Brian had been out celebrating the start of spring break. Earlier in the evening, he had dinner with his father, Randy Shaffer. Later, he met up with his best friend, Clint Florence, to go bar hopping. They drank, laughed, and wandered from one packed bar to another before ending the night at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Surveillance footage captured Brian outside at 1:55 a.m., talking to two women. He looks relaxed, smiling, waving. A minute later, he turns toward the entrance and walks inside, and then, nothing. The bar closed at 2 a.m., spilling its last patrons onto the street. Clint and another friend, Meredith, searched for Brian, but assumed he had gone home. Calls to his phone rang through, no answer. The next day, when Brian missed a planned trip to Miami with his girlfriend, Alexis Wagoner, alarms rang. Brian was gone. Investigators scoured the security footage from that night, tracing the movements of everyone who entered and exited. They accounted for every single person, except Brian. He never appeared on the footage again. The bar's entrance was the only way in or out, unless someone climbed through an emergency exit leading to a dangerous construction site. But there was no sign of an accident, no body, no trace of Brian at all. It was as if he had walked into a void. Theories swirled. Could Brian have left in disguise? Was he hiding from something? Someone? His apartment showed no signs of foul play. His car remained untouched. His bank accounts and credit cards never saw another transaction. Then there was Clint Florence. Brian's best friend, the last person known to have seen him, refused to take a polygraph test. Why? Had something happened that night? Police pressed, but Clint refused to cooperate further. His reluctance only deepened the mystery. Was he hiding something, or was he simply wary of law enforcement? Some speculated that Clint knew more than he was willing to admit, but without evidence, suspicion remained just that. Suspicion. There were other strange details, too. Brian's mother had passed away from cancer just weeks before his disappearance, leaving him devastated. Friends described him as withdrawn, struggling with grief, but still making plans for the future. He had spoken about running away, starting fresh on a tropical island. Did he actually do it? If so, how? No known travel arrangements were made, no records of a ticket purchased, and no activity on his passport. If he had truly chosen to disappear, he would have needed help, yet no one ever came forward to suggest they had aided his escape. The most unsettling clue came months later. Calls to Brian's phone had gone straight to voicemail, until one night. Alexis, desperate for answers, kept calling his number. Then one time it rang. Just once. A flicker of hope. But cell phone pings traced the signal back to a random tower in Columbus, offering no real answers, just more questions. Could it have been a network glitch? Or did someone somewhere have Brian's phone in their possession? The eerie nature of the ringing phone only deepened the mystery as theories of foul play began to take center stage. Years passed. Tips poured in, sightings in Sweden, in Mexico, in the Appalachian Mountains. None led anywhere. The case grew colder. Brian's father, Randy, searched tirelessly, hoping for a sign. In a cruel twist of fate, he was killed in a freak accident in 2008. Leaving Brian's younger brother, Derek, the last surviving member of the family. Derek continued to push for answers, but with each passing year, the trail grew fainter. the hope of resolution dimmer. Some believe Brian may have fallen victim to an accident or an unknown assailant within the bar. Others suspect he left voluntarily, disappearing into the night with a meticulously planned escape. But without proof, every theory remains just that, a theory. Urban legends and internet sleuths have kept the case alive, dissecting every available detail, yet no new leads have emerged that bring investigators any closer to the truth. To this day, Brian Shaffer's disappearance remains one of the most baffling, unsolved cases in modern history. How does a man walk into a bar and never come out? And the most chilling question of all, did someone somewhere make sure he never did? The world may never know, and perhaps that is the most haunting aspect of all. A young man full of promise simply vanished, leaving only questions, theories, and the eerie glow of a surveillance camera capturing his last known steps.